Imagine checking your bank account next month and noticing your Social Security deposit is just a little bit higher than it was the month before. For millions of Americans, that's not just wishful thinking, it's about to become reality. The Social Security Administration has officially confirmed a new increase in monthly benefits, and this change doesn't just affect one group. Whether you're receiving retirement benefits through SSA, disability benefits under SSDI, supplemental security income through SSI, or even veterans benefits through the VA, this update is set to impact your wallet in real and measurable ways. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I've heard about increases before, but by the time they hit, inflation has already eaten up the difference. And you're right to be cautious. That's why it's so important to look at the actual numbers behind this change, what it means in everyday dollars, and how it compares to the rising costs of groceries, utilities, and healthcare. We're going to break it all down clearly, without the confusion, so you'll know exactly how much more you can expect and when it's coming. For context, these benefit adjustments are tied directly to the cost of living calculation, or COLA, which is based on the government's measure of inflation. When the prices of essential goods and services go up, Social Security is designed to adjust in response. The question is, how big is that adjustment this time, and will it be enough to cover the real increase in expenses we're all feeling? That's the heart of what today's video will answer. Stick with me, because in just a few moments, I'll walk you through the exact dollar amounts expected for SSA, SSDI, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. I'll also explain how these changes will show up in your payments, when to expect the new amounts, and what financial experts are saying about how this increase stacks up against rising costs in America right now. This isn't rumor or speculation, it's real, official information you can rely on. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of what to expect and how to prepare. Let's get right into the details, because this is the part that matters most to you. The Social Security Administration has released the cost of living adjustment for the upcoming year, and it means a raise is officially on the way. The increase may not sound dramatic at first glance, but when you add it up over 12 months, it's extra money in your pocket, and for people on fixed incomes, every bit counts. The way these adjustments are calculated comes down to something called the Consumer Price Index, which measures the average cost of things like food, energy, housing, and healthcare. When those numbers climb, Social Security adjusts to keep pace, and that's what we're seeing right now. The new percentage increase has been set, and I'm going to break it down into real-world numbers so you can picture exactly what your check will look like. For the average Social Security retirement benefit, the new adjustment means several dozen dollars more per month. That might not seem life-changing at first glance, but if you think about it over the course of the year, that can easily add up to hundreds of extra dollars. And for many seniors, that extra money can help cover rising grocery bills, gas for the car, or prescription medications. If you're on SSDI, the disability program, you'll also see an increase that follows the same percentage. The Social Security Administration applies these adjustments across the board, which means no matter what category of benefit you're in, you'll notice a change when your January payment arrives. And if you're receiving supplemental security income, that benefit is also included, with the new higher amount showing up as early as the December deposit, since SSI is paid out at the start of the month. Veterans benefits are tied to the same adjustment, which means VA beneficiaries will also receive more, ensuring that the increase touches nearly every corner of federal support for seniors and those with disabilities. Now, let's pause here for a second, because I know what a lot of you are probably thinking. The first reaction many people have when they hear about a Social Security raise is simple: will it actually make a difference, or will it just get swallowed up by inflation? It's a fair question. We've all noticed how quickly prices can climb. One week your grocery bill feels manageable, and the next week it's shot up by $20 or $30, even though you're buying the same basics. That's the exact reason why these adjustments exist. The COLA is supposed to prevent your benefit from losing its buying power. But here's the tricky part. The formula the government uses doesn't always capture the true cost increases that seniors face, especially in healthcare and housing. For example, if your Medicare premiums rise, that can cut into your Social Security raise almost immediately. Some years, seniors have seen nearly all of their COLA eaten up by Medicare costs. So while this new increase is absolutely welcome, and it does put more dollars in your account, it's also important to be realistic and recognize that it may not fully offset everything we're experiencing at the store or the doctor's office. That's why financial experts often suggest treating these increases not as a bonus, but as a critical adjustment just to keep pace with the times. Think of it this way: your benefits are like a lifeline that's tied to the rising cost of living. Without the COLA, that lifeline would slowly shrink every year as prices went up, and your check stayed the same. With it, at least you're keeping some level of balance, even if it doesn't always feel perfect. What matters is that the system is doing what it was designed to do, which is to protect seniors and people with disabilities from falling behind completely as inflation marches forward. So let's talk numbers. The average retirement benefit check is currently around $1,800 to $1,900 a month, depending on your work history and earnings record. With this new adjustment, most retirees can expect to see their monthly amount climb by around $50 to $60. Over 12 months, that's roughly $700 more in your pocket. For SSDI recipients, the increase will also be in that range, with the exact dollar amount depending on your current benefit. SSI recipients will see a smaller dollar increase because those payments start lower, but percentage-wise, it's the same raise. Veterans who receive VA compensation will also notice a nearly identical bump because their benefits are tied to the same COLA measure. When exactly will you see these new amounts? For most people, the change kicks in with the January 2025 payment. However, SSI recipients usually notice the difference a little earlier because the January benefit is paid at the end of December. That means your very first check of the new year could arrive before the calendar even flips, already reflecting the higher amount. If you're on SSDI or retirement benefits, look for the change in January on your usual payment date based on your birthday. And for veterans, the VA will issue its updated benefits in line with the Social Security schedule. Now here's something I really want you to pay attention to because it's a detail that often gets overlooked. While your benefit is going up, you'll also want to pay close attention to your Medicare Part B premiums. Every fall, the government announces the new premium amounts for the following year, and those premiums are automatically deducted from most Social Security checks. If the premium goes up, and history shows it usually does, that will eat into your increase. For example, if your Social Security check is going up by $55, but your Medicare premium climbs by $25, then in reality you'll only feel an extra $30 in your pocket each month. That's why it's important not just to hear the headline of Social Security is going up, but to actually do the math on how it impacts your personal budget after all the deductions. That brings me to another point. While these COLA increases are automatic, and you don't need to apply or file anything to receive them, it's still a good time to review your Social Security account. If you haven't already, setting up a My Social Security account online can give you a clear view of your current benefit amount, upcoming adjustments, and any deductions. This is also where you'll see your Medicare premium information reflected. Having that account gives you peace of mind, and it makes it easier to double-check that your payments are correct once the new year begins. Beyond the numbers, there's another piece of this story that's worth discussing, and that's the bigger picture of Social Security's long-term health. Every year, when the COLA announcement comes out, it sparks questions about whether the system can keep up with these increases. The trust funds that support Social Security have been under pressure for years, and projections often warn about shortfalls in the coming decades if Congress doesn't act. But here's the reassurance: the COLA itself is built into the system. It's not optional. As long as inflation exists, these adjustments will continue to happen. The real debate is about the future funding of Social Security overall. While that's a conversation for lawmakers, the important thing for you to know is that the raise you're about to receive is guaranteed and already scheduled. Think of this increase as both a reflection of the times we're living in and a reminder of why Social Security exists in the first place. The program was designed to provide stability, to give older Americans, disabled individuals, and veterans a foundation of income they can count on regardless of what's happening in the economy. It's not meant to make anyone rich, but it is meant to keep millions of people from falling into poverty. And these COLA adjustments, while they may feel modest, are a lifeline for countless households across the country. As we move through the year ahead, the best thing you can do is stay informed. Keep an eye on your statements, track how the increase affects your actual budget, and be mindful of rising costs in your area. Prices don't climb evenly across the board. Some regions see bigger jumps in rent, while others feel it more in energy bills or groceries. Knowing where your dollars are being stretched the most will help you plan and make the most of your new benefit amount. And remember, you are not alone in this. More than 70 million Americans receive Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits. This increase is going to touch the lives of millions, just like yours. It's a shared experience, and it reflects the reality of the economic moment we're all navigating together. So, as we wrap up this breakdown, let me leave you with this thought. While the raise may not solve every financial challenge, it is real, it is guaranteed, and it is on its way to you. In a time when so much feels uncertain, that's something solid you can count on.